Look at you. Hi there, Coach Sage of SageRunning.com here with another training talk. Today we're going to talk about innate talent or natural ability. I'll put that in quotes, so to speak, in distance running, because it was a popular question. Thanks for all the comments on here, by the way. I'll try to do this one really quick since I'm out here in the field with my iPhone filming. But yeah, it's a delicate topic because there's a lot of factors obviously involved. And if we see at the highest end of the sport, just in like road marathon training, for example, with the East African runners, Kenyans and Ethiopians, you see a lot of the top marathon runners, they train really hard. They have great bodies for running, great genetics probably. They eat, high carb plant-based diet for the most part. They train at altitude. They have really good running form. And their mentality is really tough. They're really tough runners. They come out of deprivation. A lot of runners in third world countries run to put food on the table. To make it as a pro marathon runner is their dream sport. And so it's a cultural thing that helps with the performances, but they also grow up running at altitude to and from school every day without thinking of it as training, but they're running at a really high level, so to speak. So they train really hard. They're really mentally tough as well. So all these factors go into, what it takes to be a sub 210 or a sub 205 marathon runner. And so if you apply that to anything in sport, it's natural ability plus hard work is to reach the top level. Now, all levels in between, maybe if you're trying to win an age group award or qualify for Boston or something like that, how does this factor into your own personal, potential in the sport, whether you're a high school runner or you're just started running at the age of 50. And part of it comes down to your running age, how many years you've actually spent training kind of year round, because that'll determine your potential for future improvement. So if you got someone like me who's been training year round for 18 years at a pretty high level, but a lot of 100-mile weeks under my belt, my level for improvement is a lot smaller probably than yours. Unless you're like 70 years old, 75 years old, then maybe you could expect diminishing returns because of age, but you never know. There's still people rocking out there in their 70s. Ed Whitlock, for example, I think he's in his 80s, still running amazingly fast. So you can progress even if you're older. But one genetic thing that is very genetic is VO2 max, and that's going to limit your performance in some degree, mainly for shorter events, so mainly half marathon and below. It definitely helps to have a high VO2 max in mountain races and ultras as well, but that's not as much of a factor because that does go down with age, and it is very genetic. The size of your heart and the capacity, the ability of your lungs. Now, some of it could be trained, but at a certain level, your VO2 max isn't going to go up. Like, mine's not going to be as high as Kilian Jornet's, for example. I've never had it tested. I'd estimate it's probably around 70, 72, but his is like 90, which is crazy. But, I never cracked 14 minutes for 5K in college, and I trained really hard. So, there's champions everywhere, as Arthur Lydiard would say, famous coach. In New Zealand, he coached 3 guys from the same town that all made the Olympics. So, there's talent out there that's untapped, and a lot of people don't recognize it till they start training pretty hard, till they start training 6 or 7 days a week. Now, the other talent, you could say, is not getting injured. Durability's been a strength of mine personally. I've been lucky with that, and some of it's genetic, some of it's related to diet, some of it's related to your patience and training as well. So that's another factor. And so if you look at your own performance, you have to look at your training age. You have to look at, hey, am I running 20 or 30 miles a week, or am I running 60 or 70 miles a week? Am I doing the most with the time I have to train, with work obligations, family obligations aside, and staying healthy to maximize my performance? And for most people out there, most of you viewers, I would say you probably have the potential to improve quite a bit. Now, how much? It comes with diminishing returns. Bumping up your mileage from 80 miles a week to 100 miles a week isn't giving you as big of a returns as, say, jumping your mileage up from 50 miles a week to 80 miles a week, or even 50 to 70 miles a week, and periodizing your training in a smart way. And it depends what event you're looking for, but most people can make big gains doing that. Big gains with your BMI, if you're a healthy, body weight and you're eating healthy, you're not deficient in any vitamins or minerals or nutrients, you're going to be optimal performance as well with your eating habits. You look at body weight, you look at factors like that, but then you also look at your training age, are you developing your capillary beds, your blood flow as efficiently as possible? Because yeah, your heart and lungs will limit you, your slow twitch to fast twitch muscle fiber will limit you, but that could all be trained. And the biggest gains is what we see is in velocity at lactate threshold, or about, anywhere between your aerobic threshold, let's say marathon pace, to half marathon to about 10K pace. If you're improving your efficiency, your oxygen utilization at those kinds of paces or those kinds of intensities, you can make big gains even between the ages of from your 20s to your 40s. That's why you see marathon runners still doing very well in their 40s. Look at Meb, for example, still running super fast as a masters runner. He's got really good efficiency. He might not have the 10K speed or 5K speed that he once had, but he's still got that marathon efficiency. So really applicable to marathons and ultras, longer distance events. But it's hard for me to judge. It's hard for me to say what your potential is in the sport or what someone's potential is, because you don't know until you start training at a pretty high level for a number of years and years on end. You look at, I was reading a book on Bill Rogers, and he was very talented, but he also trained 200 miles a week. Maybe a little extreme, but he didn't get injured. So another talent. But you mentally have to be there. You mentally have to be tough. And the top athletes at any sport are all going to be mentally as tough as nails. And so you have to be able to push yourself and have that attitude and stay consistently healthy. So it's a delicate balance. It's a big thing. And I'd say, don't give up. I've always found in my own career, I have had to move up in distance to stay competitive. And, I'm never going to make the Olympics on the track. And my Olympic dreams in the marathon are dwindling as well. I'd have to kid myself to think that I could run under 2:12 or even 2:15 at this stage in my career. But you learn over the years kind of where your strengths and weaknesses are, and each one of us has different strengths and weaknesses. So capitalize on your strengths, work on your weaknesses more in the off season, and just try to have fun with the sport and not worry about ultimate goals too much, but always have ultimate goals, A, B, and C goals, pie in the sky goals that you want to try to achieve if you like that kind of progression. So that's kind of my rant on this. I could add to it probably more. If you have more questions, feel free to comment below. Great comments. I love all the comments I got for the call for comments on these training talks. Keep posted for more. I know you guys voted up a ton of different ones, so I'm going to go through them and hopefully do more of these training talks. But thanks so much for the support. Thanks for the Patreon viewers. Couldn't do this without you guys. You can support me on Patreon still, /SageRunning, patreon.com. I'll link to it below in the description. Thank you again, guys. You guys are so generous. So hope your training's going well, and stay tuned for more via 2Max Productions. All right, so I'm not done yet, actually. Now that I've run a little bit farther, I wanted to more specifically answer one of the questions in there. How can a guy like Durian Rider, a great plant-based athlete, promoter, how could he run a 240 marathon or whatever he runs, something around there? Sorry if I'm selling you short, Durian Rider. How could he run that 240 marathon off of 15 miles a week of training? Well, he's cycled a lot. He's cycled quite a bit. I know he's done a ton of cycling on Strava, at least that's what I've heard. So that helps with aerobic base. It still helps with leg strength. So it's not just running miles, it's cycling a lot. And that's definitely great cross training for runners, the non-impact force cross training. But yeah, it's personal story. In high school, I trained pretty hard. I definitely had some ability in running, I'm not gonna lie. I ran 16:23 for 5K as a freshman. My teammate, he was more of like an 18-minute 5K guy, right? He just started running later than I did. Wasn't as serious. He was running an 11-minute 3K our freshman year. I was running 9:35, 9:33 for 3K. By our senior year, he started training close to my level, but still not anything crazy. We were running up to 60, 70 miles a week, quite a bit for a high school runner. And he pops at 8:38 3K, 8:38, 8:39 3K at state. I'm sitting home on the bleachers because I never made state in track, and he was the top runner on the team for us in the 3K on the track. And yeah, he definitely had some natural ability. He was also very mentally tough, and he worked really hard, but he progressed a lot faster than I did in high school. So, that's just showing you a difference. And I bet out of our high school class of about 400, we were a very average school in Oregon, there was probably someone who didn't even run that might have been a faster runner, a faster miler or 2-miler, that didn't even realize their potential. So there are champions everywhere. There's talent everywhere. Don't sell yourself short ever, but if you've been running for a long time and you start noticing your progress slows, and you're not going to crack 3 hours in the marathon till you've at least run close to 1:30 or probably closer to 1:20 in the half marathon. So you shoot for goals in shorter distances sometimes first before you move up in distance, and that's another kind of rule of thumb. But you never want to give up, and you want to stay healthy, because if you're not healthy, you're not training consistently, you're not going to even reach close to your potential. And so some of that you do have to watch nutrition and diet and sleep, and all the variables at play. And I haven't figured it out. I can't say that I have. So there's a lot of factors that go into natural talent in running, and mental toughness and perseverance as well. And that's going to be real key for a lot of people, making lifestyle choices to be healthier and to reach their physical capacity, whatever that may be, and their goals in the sport. So thank you again for all the support on here. Thank you so much to all the Patreon supporters. Please share this on social media, as well as follow me on social media for more updates at Sage Canaday on Instagram and Twitter, Sage Canaday fan page on Facebook. I'm also on Snapchat at Sage Canaday. So thank you so much, guys. Keep the subscriptions coming, and stay tuned for more via 2Max Productions. What are you guys doing?